Hey guys, today I'm gonna break down a 2011 deal that I did. It was a 6-unit center entrance Chicago beautiful style building. And the reason that I'm gonna break this down is because I want you guys to fact check me at the end of this video. I'm gonna give you guys the address and you're gonna see what I did in 2011, what it's worth today in 2025, and how that bubble is gonna pop and deflate, and we're gonna get these great deals all over again. So when you're done fact checking, if you like what I've showed you, smash the subscribe button or hit the like button. Thank you very much. Here we go. I purchased this building in 2011 or 12. It was a 6-unit center entrance building. It was a 15-bed, 6-bath building that was built in 1888. The purchase price on this building was $25K. The closing cost on this building was $1,750 or 7%. The rehab cost on this property was $100K. And I want to take a little moment on explaining what I spent the $100K on. It was new copper plumbing, new drain lines, new heating for each unit, new hot water tanks, hardwood floors in the kitchens and new baths. I kept all the old drywall. I kept all the old plaster. We caulked and painted it and made it look as best as possible. But I wanted to make sure that the bones of the building were strong. I changed the windows that needed to be changed, and I did the roof work where it needed to be done. I repaired the porch where it needed to be repaired. The goal for me was to get this building up and running with the least amount of money and producing income. And the reason that I needed to do this is because I was just starting and I needed to make sure that my money could make me money. So I had to figure this out, and this is why I'm going to take the time to explain to you guys. So the cost, I had a line of credit, and the cost of interest for this particular building was $6,500, which was $125,000 multiplied by 7%. That was the cost of the interest on this property. The water bill was $3,000. Electric was $400, and electric was just common area electric. It was very minimal, $40-50 a month, if that. Trash was $2K, and insurance was $2K. My total cost, and I don't know if I did my math right, it could be $140 or $146, but my total cost on this building after the construction costs was $140,500. This gave me 3 apartments that consisted of 2 bedrooms, 1 bath that I rented for $1,000 for a total of $3,000. And it gave me 3 apartments with 3 bedrooms with 1 bath that I rented for $1,100 for a total of $3,300, totaling $6,300. If I took the $6,300 and multiplied it by 12, it gave me $75,600 yearly is what this property made yearly. So if you do the math and if you look at this, you can see very easily that this building, within 2 years, I was able to recover my total cost of investment on this building. And these deals were a ton of fun because you could actually see the value. I call it juice, meaning interest. Interest on my money, if you look at it, was very minimal. It was $6,500. This actually should be 13 grand. I should multiply this by 2. 13 grand for 2 years is what I paid. So let's add another 6,000 there. So let's say 147, okay? So if you look at the cost per money on this building, it was nothing. I was able to get my money back within 2 years. Okay, guys? And that was the goal. The goal is you don't want to work for the bank. There's 2 types of investors. There are types of investors that believe in debt. And yes, I had debt. I just said earlier, a line of credit. I used a line of credit. It was very important. I didn't have the money, so I needed a line of credit. So everyone needs debt. But at some point, you got to learn how to pay your debt off and let your money work for you. You could see clearly here that after 2 years, I was able to pay my line off. I was able to redo this process all over again for the second time. And you can see clearly now that instead of me making $75,600 a year per building, I can double that and make $150,000 per year. And this is how I was able to retire by the age of 37. Now, I'm going to give you the address of this building, but before I do that, because I want you to fact check me, before I do that, I want to show you what that building is going for today and how it's going to take a ton of years for you to make your money back, and how I would not buy this building at all in today's market. So this building now, Zillow is showing that it's worth $580,000 to $610,000. So what I did, I just used the minimal number. So right away, you're gonna see that our closing costs on this building are not the $1,700 that it was with the first example. It's $58,000. So you have to grab the 580, you have to add the 58 grand to that, right? Now, if you take 580 times 7% interest only, you're looking at $40,600 a year in interest. So you could already see that interest, juice, is taking your money. It's taking more than half of your rental income. Okay, so then this particular building today is just bringing in just a little extra income. It's not bringing much more. It's $82,800. I want to say when I bought it in 2011, it was bringing in something like 75 grand. You have to double check the numbers. You have to go back because I don't have a good memory. But if you go back, you don't see a huge increase in rents. Taxes have doubled, and although taxes have doubled, this particular building still has a very low tax bill. And I know that because I own a ton of properties in Chicago, and this building should have at least an $11,000 tax bill. So whoever is appealing the taxes on this building is doing a great job. The rehab cost, you have to put a rehab cost in because when you buy something, you have to come in and do improvements. One of the things that most people don't understand is that these assets are depreciating daily. They take a ton of wear and tear, and you have to come in and either paint, update hallways, update common areas, seal porches, install new windows in certain areas, roof repairs or a new roof. There's always something to do. So I put a minimum of 30 grand in repairs. And then your water bill, you're looking at 3K, which is low. Trash is 2K. I kept it the same. So if you look at today's cost on this building, it's a total cost of $718,000. And when I ran the math through ChatGPT, which I love, it was showing me that it was going to take 22 years for me to get my money back. And there's a ton of different reasons. You could see the huge price increase. You could see the huge closing costs. You can see how interest is just eating up your money. You could see that the rents really didn't go up much. It's very apparent that we are in an inflated market. And it makes no sense to me to buy. This is why my last video, I was showing that I got out when it took me 7 years to get my money back. I was out of this deal. Meaning this, guys, I sold this building in 2018, I believe. You have to double check. I sold it for $315,000, and I was really happy with selling the building at $315,000. I was able to get 6 or 7 years of rents out of it. I was able to sell it for $315,000. When I ran my numbers, I made about $600,000 clean in my pocket, and I learned, and it was a ton of fun. So to me, there is nothing to learn when you're paying these types of numbers and you have to keep up with these assets. You want to stay away from buying an asset that's this expensive, that has closing costs that are that high because of the price is that high, that you have to pay this much interest because the price is that high, and the rents really did not adjust. Now, if these rents, if there was a 1 in front of here, and it was $182,000, then I would tell you that we are doing really good and that we should maybe buy 4 of these. And this is what you need to look at. You need to look at how one of these properties are going to bring value to you. And this particular property, for whatever reason, at this point, I don't think is bringing value to anyone. I double checked, and I still see that the person that bought it from me still owns it. So I do know that they paid $315,000 for it. I think that they paid borderline high for it, but obviously they missed the peak of the market. It's showing that it's worth between $580,000 to $620,000. I do know that it was on the market, and I know that it did not sell. It was on the market for a little over a year. And this was on the market in 2021 and 2022 when the market was hot, okay, guys, and it did not sell. So you guys have to keep your cost per door. So it's very simple, right? If you take $718,000 and you divide it by 6, you're looking at over a little $100,000 per door, which is a ton of money. Actually, maybe $30,000 per door, which is a ton of money. If I go back and I show you the cost per door of when I bought this building, it was nothing. I paid $150 140,000 bucks, you take 140,000 bucks and you divide it by 6, and you're looking at 30, 60, 91, 21, 50, not even. You're looking at about $25,000 per door is what you're looking at, okay, guys? So these are the kind of deals that are gonna come back. The reason that I'm doing these videos is because I want you guys to really understand that getting a line of credit on your property today is not a bad idea. You only pay interest when you use your line of credit, okay? So the goal is you get a line of credit and you just hang on to your money. So when the market pops, when this thing pops, when these notes mature, okay, and these deals start coming up, okay, you can take action. I have to tell you the demographics of this market so you can kind of understand what market I was in, what areas you can find these deals in. So demographics on this market: school districts, elementary was a 3 out of a 10. Terrible, okay? High school was a 1 out of a 10. Terrible. There was a ton of crime in this neighborhood. There was a ton of drugs in this neighborhood. These are neighborhoods that were not easy to work in, guys. But I'll tell you that you have to start somewhere. So if you're looking where to start, you look at certain demographics and you go into these neighborhoods, and as long as you can go in and understand something that's real simple and easy, is that you have to just respect human beings. There's no need to be afraid, because if you respect, nothing's gonna happen. But if you wanna go in and you don't wanna respect humans, and you wanna go in and mistreat people, then you better be afraid, because you will have issues. So I wanna warn you guys and tell you that to me, it's beautiful to work in rough neighborhoods. I don't have to do it anymore because I established myself as a 25-year-old young man, and I'm 50 now, and I did what I had to do. And now I'm going into areas that I could afford that are a bit more. But I will tell you, and I will tell you this, that if I can get a steal like this in the hood today, I'll go back in a second. I don't have an issue with it, okay? So just wanted to give you a little demographics on a neighborhood. I wanted to tell you that at this moment, cash is king. Very little money is gonna get you a ton of property. If you notice right now, if you have $140,000 in the bank, it's not gonna get you anything. $140,000 is not gonna get you anything, because this building, the same building, $718,000 today, okay? But soon, it'll get you a ton of assets if you're patient. So you hear me say all the time, sell your property. Okay, so if you have investment properties, if you bought properties in 2011, 2012, and 2013, and you've had these properties, hey, listen, guys, you missed the peak of the market. Sell, get liquid, so you can be ready to pull the trigger once these properties start coming down. Be ready. It's time to sell. Here we go, so you can fact check me. The address to the property is 4245-47 West Maple, Chicago, Illinois. Fact check all my numbers. If you like what I've said, you can follow me on my website at josejuarbe.com or caprategroup.com. Thank you very much. Enjoy your evening. See you next week.